Okay, as you can see, I've had some bad days with this. Even right now, my eye's twitching a little bit. The bottom part of it is twitching. And I usually get a lot of twitching on the top part. Every once in a while, I'll get a twitch on this side. Twice I've had my right side kind of get droopiness, but for the most part, it's been my left side's been fine. It's my right side that's been twitchy. But when I get double vision, sometimes it just goes blurry. I think the blurriness is just your eyes getting a little bit out of line. But when the double vision happens, is when your eyes get the muscles in your eyes aren't in sync because of the weakness of the muscle. And so a lot of times it looks like my left eye, the picture I see in my left eye is higher than the picture. It's kind of like it's almost a little sideways higher. Usually when I get my double vision. So, but okay. So I got my appointment. I also went ahead, like I said, did the. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. That happens a lot lately. So, but okay. So yeah, there's my symptoms. And when I did the stress test, I want to point this. I want to state this as I get you get tired, fatigue. When I did the stress test, I was on the treadmill for a little over 6 minutes. 6 minutes to do the stress test. And that was like at 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm not kidding you. I worked after that, my main job. I worked from home that day, thankfully. And so by the time 4:30 in the afternoon rolled around, I was able to log off my computer and work for the day. I could not keep my eyes open. My eyes were so tired, and I was physically drained. I just wanted to sleep. I went out into the living room and just kind of sat on the couch, and I could barely keep my eyes open. I was so tired. I was so physically drained. I was like, my arms and my legs weren't tired. It wasn't that. It was just an overall fatigue. I was so tired. So the only thing else I did that day, I went and did my echo, which is nothing, just lay there and they do the ultrasound of your heart. I did the stress test, and then they put the Holter monitor on me. I was so tired. So if you have myasthenia gravis, have you experienced those days where you're just so fatigued? Oh wow, that was something. Um, and my droopy eyelid usually it's better in the morning, but I'm not kidding you. Like a couple of days ago, I woke up, went into the bathroom, looked in the mirror, and my right eye was not droopy no more. But I was just looking in the mirror. Within a few seconds, I can just physically see my eyelid drop. So when waking up, I was rested, and then all of a sudden, within a few seconds, maybe 5 seconds at the most, my eyelid dropped. It's like great. So even a night's rest, I guess I said I'm not sleeping well, so it's hard to call it a night's rest. So, but yeah, that's mainly what I've been dealing with. So fast forward, I saw the neurologist this past Thursday, so 2 days ago. Today's Saturday the 20th. I saw the neurologist for the first time on Thursday the 18th, and we went over my symptoms, what's been going on this year, my blood work, and then he did some muscle test on me, where he did the finger up and down. He held the finger up and had me just look at it to see if my eyes would fatigue, and they did. They definitely did. And then, excuse me, folks, I got to adjust my sitting on my bed cross-legged. Oh, and my legs were starting to fall asleep. All right, okay, that's get some circulation back in my legs. All right, and then he did some muscle tests. He checked my strength of my arms, all different things, my legs. He did, and those were fine. But then he also checked the strength in my mouth and my neck, where he had me puff out my cheeks like this, and then he said, "Try to stop me from pushing in on your cheeks." And I felt that, but I couldn't hold it in. I can't hold it. I don't know if that's normal for everybody or not. But then also he checked. He had me move my tongue out into the cheek, and he told me to resist his finger from pushing in my tongue. So like this, that side's fine. He checked this side. hold my finger back. I failed on this side. So he says I am experiencing signs of mouth weakness. So my muscles, which makes sense because especially the last few days at night when I'm laying in bed. Have you ever chewed some bubble gum and you chewed it for a while and your jaw gets sore? That's what it's feeling like to me right now. The last few nights is like right on the joint of my jaw. It just feels not, it doesn't hurt, but it's like fatigue. It's like I've been chewing gum for a while. That type of fatigue, that type of not just it's like a discomfort. And then also he checked my neck muscles and different type of tests, and he's I he said I was showing signs of muscle weakness in my neck, holding my head up. Especially when he tested. No, he went one way. He told me try to keep him from pressing on their end or try to move up or up and down, stuff like that. So with that being said, no, with my eyelids, sometimes my droopy face, and my mouth muscles being weak and my neck muscles starting to show signs of weakness. He says, I am diagnosing you with generalized myasthenia gravis, which I did not. I knew I had it. I was pretty sure I had it, but I was hoping it was just ocular and nothing else, and not the more advanced generalized. So, as you know, what I can expect if you have generalized myasthenia gravis, it's a muscle weakness. It's an autoimmune disease that affects the muscle strength, and it blocks. It's like the antibodies. You get more antibodies in your blood than you should have, and when that happens, the antibody cells kind of like block where they go into the receptors. You get your nerves and your muscles, and they talk to each other, and that's how you use your muscles to move. And those receptors that get like the signals from your nerve to do the movement, the antibodies can attach to the receptors and destroy them. So there's less receptors to get that message, and when that happens, I guess somehow it makes your muscles weaker. I'm not, I don't understand that all too well, but that's what happens. And so, what you can expect is the symptoms of muscle weakness. This is your voluntary muscles, all your voluntary muscles. So you can expect eyelid drooping, which I'm getting, blurred or double vision, which is what I'm getting. Difficulty speaking. I don't think I have that, but it feels like every once in a while I do. I struggle getting words out. Difficulty chewing or swallowing, which can also lead to choking. I don't have that yet, but with the neurologist saying I have my mouth muscles seem to be getting weaker, showing signs of being weaker, and with this odd feeling at the end of the day, I feel in my jaw. I could experience that soon. God, I hope not, because choking is normally myasthenia gravis is not life threatening. But you can't, if you have generalized myasthenia gravis, you can have dangerous life effects that can send you into a crisis. One, you could choke because your throat muscles. I didn't realize this. I thought your esophagus was just like a slide. As soon as you eat food or drink, it just slides down the esophagus into your stomach. I didn't know that there's muscles in your esophagus that move the food or move the drink down into your stomach. And so when the myasthenia gravis starts to affect your muscles in your esophagus, those muscles won't work. And so when you swallow something, the swallowing, you have takes muscles to swallow. But even if you're able to swallow that food, the muscles in your esophagus still has to work that food or drink down. And so if those muscles aren't working fully, that food or drink can just sit in the esophagus and potentially come back up. So if it sits there, you could choke, or it can come back up, especially with fluid. It can come back up and then go down your windpipe and cause issues there. So that's scary. Another one is difficulty supporting neck. So with them saying I'm showing some signs of neck weakness, that's not good. So I could have a hard time holding my head up, even though that's not life altering. That doesn't threaten your life. Shortness of breath, difficulty in breathing. That's because of your diaphragm. Had to think of the word. Your diaphragm that helps you take breaths in and out. That diaphragm, and that's a voluntary muscle. So if you start to have struggle breathing, that could lead you in a myasthenic crisis, which you would definitely need to go into the hospital and get breathing treatment. You have to get help in breathing until they're able to get you past that crisis, where you're able to breathe again, get those muscles working again. So that can your life could be threatened with that big time. So you can also have muscle. You can have weakness in the arms and legs, which results in difficulty in walking or standing. So if you have generalized myasthenia gravis, then that's what you can potentially affect. You could potentially have it. Symptoms of. There's treatment plans. Okay, let's talk about treatments. One, the neurologist says I have to get my thymus checked. So this coming Wednesday, the 24th, on my mom's birthday, uh, I go in for a chest scan to take a look at the thymus. I think it's a CT scan. It's with and without contrast. They'll see the size of my thymus and see if there's any tumors around it or on it. They do that for everyone who's diagnosed with GMG. They check the thymus out. Thymus is large when you're a baby because that helps you develop. It's the antibodies that help you develop your immunity. But as you get older, when you develop your immunities, you don't have a use for it no more. So as you get older, the thymus shrinks and sometimes it goes away and just turns into a little fat pocket. For people with GMG, the thymus could actually be enlarged, or it could have tumors developed on it. Tumors could be cancerous, could be non-cancerous. And so most people with GMG will have the thymus removed if it's not totally shrunk up. Definitely needs to be removed if it's enlarged or if it has tumors on it. So I have that scan next Wednesday, and I'll do a separate blog video on that itself and the results of that. Another treatment is he started me on 3 pills a day, and it's going to be pyridostigmine. Uh, it's spelled Pyridostigm. I think it's INE. It's too long a word for on here, but it's 60 milligrams. He told me it's a small dose. I take 1 pill 3 times a day with food, so kind of like with breakfast, with lunch, and with dinner. And what this is like supposed to temporarily relieve you for symptoms for 3 or 4 hours after you take each pill. You take a pill, it takes about half hour to kick in, and then you can potentially have relief from your symptoms for a short period of time, which hopefully this works. And so it'll allow me to drive Uber again because I need that second income coming in. That stresses me out because I need that extra money. And that's another thing. The neurologist says stress can have a major impact on this disease. So he said, try to be stress free. Name one person that lives life stress free. that was funny. I chuckled at that one. but this medicine comes with side effects. The 2 primary side effects that he told me to kind of look out for is excessive saliva, and then also I could have major stomach cramps. I took my first pill this morning. It's been about 2 hours now, and I'm not seeing any improvement. My eyelid is drooping about the same amount as it was this morning, so I'm not seeing any improvement with the first pill in my system. So I'm going to take a pill like every 5 hours. So, because I figure most people are awake 15, 16 hours in a day. So I'm going to take it every 4 to 5 hours. I took my first one at 9 o'clock. So I'll take my next one with lunch. I'll just have a late lunch. I'll take it about roughly around 1, 2 o'clock. And then I'll take my third pill for the day with supper around 6, 7 o'clock, roughly, depending on when I eat. And we'll see. Once I get some of this medicine built up in me, see if it starts to affect. Right now, like I said, it doesn't look like it affected it at all. And I did start about half hour ago. I felt like I was starting to have a headache develop, which could be a side effect of this. Thankfully, it didn't last very long, but it went away. So we'll have to keep an eye. I guess I do have. Usually, when I talk a lot, I get dry mouth. Right now, I feel like I have a lot more saliva in my mouth than I would expect, considering I've been talking for a while now. But so something to keep an eye on. I'll add. I'll do a short video. I'll add on to this at the end of this video, so it's all one video of that second pill I take and the third pill I take, and give you updates on what my experience with them is for this first day being on it. The Okay, for the other treatment plan, the main treatment plan. So this is just symptom treatment, really. Uh, Short term. The long term treatment is they usually start people off on steroids. My neurologist does not want to put me on steroids because I'm a diabetic and I have liver cirrhosis. And the steroids has many side effects to it. One being it can cause your blood sugar levels to skyrocket, which in turn can make you gain weight on top of it. So I can't. I have to keep my diabetes under control. It's under control right now. I'm on Mounjaro, small dose of Mounjaro. I've lost weight. I had lost. When I started Mounjaro last year, I was at 305. I got all the way down to 210 last November. Now I'm back up to 230. So I gained back about 20 pounds just because this year I've been dealing with fatigue. I haven't gone to the gym. I'm a bit stressed out. I'm a stress eater. I eat sweets. Sweets are my big time spots. I don't drink alcohol. I'm not an alcohol drinker. That's what sucks about having liver cirrhosis from non-alcoholic fatty liver. I'm not a drinker. So I told my gastroenterologist, my liver doctor, like if I know I was going to get liver cirrhosis at the age of, I was diagnosed, I was like at 40. I was 43 when I was diagnosed. And I'm 47 now. I'll be 48 next month. It's like if I known that, I would have partied when I was younger and drank. I've been drunk, I think, 2 or 3 times my entire life. And I was a social drinker, a few drinks at the bowling alley where I bowled my leagues. But I was never really a big drinker. So, but anyway, I digress. But that's why he doesn't want to start me on a steroid treatment. So he said instead, he suggests that I do this infusion. This infusion started a few years ago. It's called Vitgard. I know it's inverted, sorry about that. But it's VYVGART. So it's a 4-week treatment where once a week you go in and it takes about an hour for them to give you this medicine through an IV, or they can also do subcutaneous, like through just a bunch of little needles in different areas, like in your stomach and stuff, just underneath the skin into your fat pockets, and they can give you medicine through that. So you got either way. I don't know which way they're going to do it for me, but and they said this is a once a week, 1 hour for the injections, and then 1 hour to keep you just to monitor, make sure you don't have any side effects from the infusion. And then that's a 4-week process. And if it works, you could have 4 weeks or longer after that of symptom free. But then you have to continuously have these treatments. So you have 4 weeks treatment, then you have roughly around 72 days after that before you have your next 4-week treatment. So it's continuous 4 weeks. Then you have roughly 72 days, a little over 2 months break. Then you go for another 4 weeks, a couple month break, and then it's just a continuous cycle. Usually they only do that with people who are having more symptoms than I'm having. but like I said, my symptoms are progressing fast. It's from 1 month from me starting to have droopy eyelid to now, they seem to be progressing faster. So with that, and also the fact that he doesn't want to put me on a steroid because of my diabetes and my liver cirrhosis, he thought this would be a good alternative. So we're going to try it. I have to. He said it usually takes the nurse who was signing me up for it after I talked to the doctor. She said that it'll take a couple of weeks for the insurance to approve it. And so hopefully by the week of July 29th, I'll be able to start that treatment. I go on a cruise August 25th. I go on a cruise, and I'm not missing that cruise. So it's going to make it a really tight timeline to get in 4 weeks of the infusion. That's why I think I have to start it on the 29th. See, 29, 30, 31, 1, 2, 3, 4, save. I started the week of the 5th. That's 5, 12, 19, 26. The 26th, I'll be on my cruise. So, no, I have to start it the week of July 29th in order to get the 4 weeks in before I leave for my cruise. My cruise, I said, leaves on Saturday the 25th. So I fly out on the Friday the 24th. So I have to have the 4 weeks in. If I can't get the treatment started, the first infusion on the week of the 29th, it's going to wait until mid-September because I actually have two cruises. I have to cruise on August 25th, come back that Sunday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever it is. And then I come back for that week, the holiday week. No, Monday, September. I can't remember what's it, Labor Day, President. I don't remember whatever holiday that is. Then I fly back out that following Friday or Saturday because I have another cruise on September 8th. So I got 2 cruises in 3 weeks. I'm not missing them. So if that's the case, if I can't start my infusion treatment, then I'll wait until I'm back from that second cruise in mid-September to do the 4-week treatment to get that started. Bad thing about this treatment is it can make you more susceptible to picking up infections, picking up bugs, because it's Vigart takes out, it makes it so more of your antibodies die off and not get reintroduced back into the bloodstream. So I can be more prone. So if I go on my cruises, I'm going to have to probably wear a mask to be safe and make sure I take hand sanitizer and clean fully. But it has in clinical, it says here, Vigart may increase the risk of infection. In a clinical study, the most common infections were urinary tract and respiratory tract infections. So for the side effects, you got respiratory tract infections, headache, urinary tract infections, tingling sensation, and muscle pain. So there's, no matter what you take, there's some side effects to it. So, but yeah, I'm reading up on this pamphlet that I got for Vigart for the infusion, and so it's very, very interesting. So, but okay. What I'm going to do is the next thing you see on here is it's going to be me taking my second pill and talking about what I've felt. You kind of already know because I'm already halfway through the time period for the first pill. So that should be a quick little thing. Then after that, you'll see me taking the third pill for the day, and that I'll cut the video off, and then it's a long video, folks. I apologize for that, but I wanted to make sure I talked about everything leading up to and being diagnosed and the plan going forward. So then I think after I do this long video today, then the next videos I make on this journey will be shorter. I believe, I can't guarantee it. But then the next video I think will be doing it on my CT scan and the results of that to see where I'm at with my thymus. And then also know what I learn about if my insurance approves Vigart infusion treatments. So, all right. There is me taking the second pill and talking about my results. All right. It is now 1 p.m. and it's been 4 hours since I took my first pill of pyridostigmine. How you pronounce that? I have no idea. So yeah, so I guess you can say my droopiness has finally started to subside a little bit, not much, but it's a little bit better. So I did about an hour and a half ago. I did have another episode of blurry / double vision. Uh, and it was usually if I'm looking down and I get the blurry or double vision, I can look up and it resolves itself, or I have to look down and up a couple different times to get the eyes back into alignment, or vice versa. If it's double vision looking straight ahead or upward, and I have to look downward a few times to get them back in line. And it usually resolves itself pretty quickly by doing that. Or worst case scenario, I have to close my eyes and just kind of like move my eyeballs back and forth, up and down, move them around to try to get them back in alignment again. And that usually always works. It has always worked. One of those has always worked. So thankfully, double vision or blurriness hasn't stayed very long when I do have episodes of them. So, but yeah, so I had that about an hour and a half ago. So, but I said just now, I am having some spasming or twing, what do you call that, fluttering or whatever you call that, in my right eye right now, in my upper eyelid. It's right above my eyelash. Yes, so where I'm feeling the fluttering, or yeah, I don't know what you call that. But I am a little tired. I just vacuumed and mopped the floors, and I sat down on the couch and I was like, okay, I'm tired. It doesn't. I don't got a big area to vacuum or to mop. I vacuumed the living room floor and hallway. Then I swept and mopped the kitchen floor, my bathroom floor, and the entryway. So I spent maybe a half hour doing that stuff. But yeah, I'm tired. Not overly tired. I did notice that when I was mopping, when I got to the point of mopping, which is the last thing I did, I felt like my arm was getting a little tired from the repetitive motion, but it wasn't like overwhelming. So it was just a little bit, which I guess is a little concerning. So, but anyways, time to take pill number 2 on this first day starting this journey. Okay, let's do this. I just ate lunch after I sat down on the couch and relaxed a little bit. I ate lunch and now taking my pill, because they recommend taking food with these pills, otherwise your stomach cramps could get worse if you get that side effect if you don't eat with it. I didn't have stomach cramps on the first pill, thankfully, but I had 8, so I just had a decent sized lunch, so I should be okay on this one. Cross my fingers. For those who don't know, I get the Circle water bottle with the flavor cartridges. Awesome. I get all kinds of water in these. I was someone who just couldn't sit there and drink water all day. I just can't do it. But give me flavor water like Kool-Aid. I can chug Kool-Aid all day long. So I get the Fit Sip flavor cartridges, which is no calories and there's no caffeine. So it's just, this one here is Island Punch. I get blackberry. I get blueberry, white cherry, and then strawberry banana. It's kind of rotation, so I get a different flavor every day. One cartridge usually lasts me all day. You can usually get around 120 ounces of water with each cartridge. It all depends how high the setting you have it. I have mine set on 4 for flavor wise. The lower the number, the less flavor you get. The higher number, the more flavor you get. It goes up to 10. And I usually keep it around 3 or 4-ish. So, but this is like a 32 ounce. This is stainless steel. Keeps the ice all day long. Fill this up with ice and keeps the ice all day long. I love this. I started using Circle water bottle when I started my weight loss journey last year, and yeah, I'm so glad I found that and started it. So, but anyway, okay, that's the update for number 2. Stay tuned now for number 3 tonight for my dinner, and another update on how I'm feeling, and yeah, we'll go from there. All right, folks, it's 5:30 in the evening now on Saturday. About 4.5 hours since I took pill number 2. Uh, yeah, I guess my eyelid does. You can see a fold in there now. So yeah, it's not. There's some space. So yeah, I have to say the droopiness has improved some. I'm still tired. I fell asleep on the couch for a little bit. So just, I said, when I vacuumed and dust and mopped the floors, it just took a lot out of me. So I slept a little bit before supper. I'm still tired. I feel like I could definitely still take a longer nap, but at least, and I did have, before I fell asleep, I did have another stance of double vision. So I was sitting on the couch watching TV. I had some double vision. I struggled for it to go away too. I was trying all my tricks, and it lasted for about a minute, and I was finally able to get it to go away. I hate when that happens. But yeah, but at least I took a nap. Uh, I ate supper, so I just got done eating supper, so time to take pill number 3, my last pill for today. And I forgot my water out in the kitchen. Oh well, they're small enough pills. I should be able to. I got the side effect of saliva, extra saliva is happening to me. So I think I get plenty of. I don't. I usually don't have issues taking pills, and I can take small pills without having water. So I think I have enough saliva in my mouth to take the pill. So we'll find out here, I guess. Oh yeah. I was able to kind of get a pool of saliva built up in my mouth around the pill, and I was able to swallow it, no issue. Thankfully, I'm not having swallowing issues. I do have soreness on both sides of my jaw right now. I just got done eating, so okay, it could be a matter of time before I start having swallowing issues. I hope not. I hope I don't have that issue. But all right, that's pill number 3. As I said, the only side effect I'm having so far with it is saliva buildup in my mouth, so extra saliva, which is nice because I have dry mouth a lot, so I'm kind of enjoying having my mouth a little more moist. It's a little more slick. As I said, I did have a little bit of a headache after taking the first pill, but that didn't last very long, and it hasn't come back since. So no stomach cramps, no stomach pain, so that's good. I don't have that side effect. Those are the that was the main side effect I was most concerned about. That and headaches, and so thankfully I only had a little bit of a headache and it didn't last too long. So all right, so that might be it. I might maybe film a little bit before I go to bed tonight to see if there's any more side effects or not, or I might not. I might not do it, or we'll see. This is it. Y'all have a good one. Be sure to, if you thought this was informational and you'd like to see more of my journey now being diagnosed with generalized myasthenia gravis, go ahead and hit subscribe to this channel, and that way you get notified when I post more updates on my journey here, along with, if you're interested in my Mounjaro journey as well. And on that video I'll post other health issues that I have. So if you want to follow along, please feel free to. If you want to share the videos, I'm good with that as well. So hit like, subscribe, and share if you like. I just hope people get something out of this. As I said, there's not a whole lot of videos out there on myasthenia gravis, so I'm really hoping that by me posting my journey, and it's more, as a lot of videos I do see out there is they're 2, 3, 4 years or older out there. So hopefully this is a more current video for folks to have, and maybe new updates on treatment plans and whatnot compared to what they had years ago. So I hope you get benefit out of it, or if you just like watching videos like this, I hope you enjoy the video. And if there's not any other section after this, y'all have a good weekend, and I'll be sure to post another video on my chest scan I'm having next Wednesday to take a look at my thymus, and we'll go from there. All right.